Fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation. Call 800-741-3889. 800-741-3889. 800-741-3889. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
WINS FM in H1 New York. Always live on the free Odyssey.
Don't rule out a stray shower tonight, says AccuWeather, especially west of the city. Otherwise, partly cloudy, low 60 degrees. More people get their news from 1010 Winds. Down from many of the radio stations in the nation. John Davis, Silva Tony Mercado, editor's desk. I'm Mario Bosquez.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Winds at 92.3 FM, New York.
70 degrees, cloudy at 8 o'clock. Good evening, I'm Wayne DeGardi. Here's what's happening. The NYPD is on the campus of Columbia University tonight, arresting masked anti-Israel protesters who pushed past security to occupy the main library. No Pope elected on day one of the conclave as the faithful gather in Queens to pray for the cardinals. No information tonight from the NTSB about the investigation of that fatal helicopter crash in the Hudson. New Jersey Transit makes a deal with its largest union, but no movement reported with train engineers who may be off the job next week. President Trump says he won't reduce tariffs on China ahead of the meeting of the two nations in Switzerland. Sports, Knicks in Boston for Game 2. Yankees host the Padres. Mets won a day game. AccuWeather says areas north and west of the city may see a stray thunder shower into early this evening. Otherwise, partly cloudy tonight with a low of 60. Winds News Time, 8:01, traffic and transit. Here's Kelly Dillon.
We've got a mess in Brooklyn tonight on the eastbound Belt Parkway at Roxy Avenue. There's an overhyped truck that hit the overpass, the two right lanes out. Traffic's at a standstill back to the Arizona. Some westbound rubbernecking, so just get that spot. The Van Wyck and Queens stop and go both ways on the Hillside Ave. Delays continuing on the northbound FDR Drive through the RFK. The west side looking better. Here's what we see on Long Island with 3 minor slowdowns on the eastbound Southern State by the Washington State Parkway. Otherwise quiet now on the LIE in Northern State. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. The outbound George lower level, left lane down with a broken down car, minor slowdowns, and 10 to 15 into Jersey. Inbound is quiet. No trouble at the Lincoln in Holland. This report sponsored by MajorWorld.com. Don't get duped by low advertised prices on pre-owned cars. Once you try to buy one, the final price will end up being thousands more. Come to Major World for transparent pricing and no surprises. Major World, 4340 Northern Boulevard, Long Island City, Queens. Call 1-800-MAJOR-AUTO or go to MajorWorld.com. I'm Dylan. Our next report at 8:11. 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
Columbia University students studying for their finals in the main library interrupted this afternoon by anti-Israel protesters. Now the NYPD is on campus making arrests. 1010 Winds reporter Mary Lynn Buckley is also on the scene with this live report. Mary Lynn?
Mario, we are on one side of the police barricades, and on the other are NYPD officers who have been in and out of the Columbia University Library. And we've seen at least 60 protesters be escorted out of the library in zip ties and handcuffs and then put onto an NYPD bus. But we're hearing the number of people arrested could be as high as 80 protesters. Now, because you have to remember, there's a very large scene on the outside of Broadway and West 113th Street of Columbia students who are chanting and cheering on the protesters that were inside of the library. But a very hectic scene right now. We've seen the protesters that have been arrested coming out in groups of 20 at a time, but we believe there still are more inside. We definitely do see NYPD detectives moving in and out, and also tons of Columbia students here making their voices heard very loud. Mary Lynn Buckley, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM, live outside Columbia.
Mayor Adams had this message when asked about the situation by Channel 4.
What you say to parents if your children are on the Columbia campus and participating in this, I think you should reach out to them. This is not what you do on a college campus.
Pro-Palestinian group Columbia University Apartheid Divest took credit for this public library protest, but Columbia's acting president Claire Shipman issued a statement saying many of the protesters refused to identify themselves and leave the building. And they believe many are not affiliated with the university, so she requested the presence of the NYPD to secure the building and safety of the Columbia community. She says 2 public safety officers sustained injuries during the crowd surge. And we'll continue to follow this story tonight on 1010 Wins and 92.3 FM. Meanwhile, the first day of the conclave of cardinals at the Vatican is in the books. The 2/3 majority is required to elect a new pope.
Black smoke rose up over St. Peter's Square Wednesday, signaling the Cardinals were unsuccessful in selecting a new pope in their first round of voting. Earlier, in rituals going back centuries, the 133 voting Cardinals entered the Sistine Chapel, each taking an oath of secrecy before the doors to the historic chapel closed. Marking the officials started the conclave, cutting them off from communications with the outside world.
Correspondent Robert Blackburn among those gathered, New York's Cardinal Timothy Dolan and Cardinal Joseph Tobin, the Archbishop of Newark. Meanwhile, the leader of the Diocese of Brooklyn leading prayers for the conclave of the faithful in Queens.
Praying for guidance for the Cardinals, selecting the new pope. Bishop Robert Brennan of the Brooklyn Queens Diocese celebrated Mass, noting that in these very diversified boroughs,
people will feel close to the Pope because of that shared national experience. And yet they'll still have that universal appeal.
man from St. Anastasia Parish wanted to be here.
It reminds me of my faith, and it reminds me that I'm very grateful.
And she hopes for a pope who brings calm and compassion to Catholics and the world. Juliet Papa, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Stay with 1010 Wins for frequent updates on the paper conclave. The NTSB is out with a preliminary report on the deadly helicopter crash in the Hudson last month. They haven't yet determined the cause. Investigators have released new details, including photos of the helicopter moments before it broke apart in the air near the Holland Tunnel Ventilation Tower in Newport, Jersey City. The report says several witnesses described hearing several loud bangs emanating from the copter before it broke into 3 parts: fuselage, main rotor system, and tail boom. The aircraft last inspected at the end of February with 50 hours of operation before the tragedy that took 6 lives. No video, no data recording devices installed on board, though the NTSB says the pilot was wearing sunglasses with video and audio recording capability just before the flight. The devices have not been recorded. 70 degrees and cloudy. AccuWeather says areas north and west of the city may see a stray thundershower. Otherwise partly cloudy tonight, low 60. Some sun followed by increasing clouds tomorrow with an afternoon thunderstorm around, high 75. A town hall meeting this afternoon on the Upper West Side for those concerned after 2 large pit bulls mauled a tiny chihuahua over the weekend.
Dogs are considered property, and so when one attacks another, no one can be held accountable.
It's kind of unthinkable that a dog's on the same level as a car or a book bag or something, that it's my property. That just isn't right.
Warren Claus's Chihuahua Penny was brutally beat up by a pit bull.
Around 50 or more stitches, 50 to 100 stitches, and her whole front is bruised.
Over 100 people showed up to a community meeting with council member Gail Brewer, who is proposing legislation to make dog-on-dog violence a crime. Mac Rosenberg, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
A cat hoarder's been arrested and charged on Long Island. It comes as a bill was signed into law today in Suffolk County to help keep animals out of the care of those convicted of abuse.
If you are convicted of an animal cruelty crime here in Suffolk County, your photo, your name, and your address will be put on the Animal Abuse Registry. County Executive Ed Romaine says now those on the registry face 1 year in jail and a $1,000 fine if they are caught owning any animal.
We have an obligation to care for our pets.
A 75-year-old man has been charged with animal cruelty, accused of having 100 cats in his Bohemia home. Dozens found dead in freezers. The floors rotted, authorities say, from excessive urine.
This bill will protect animals, and that's why I'm signing it.
Sophie Hall, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM on Long Island.
New Jersey Transit has reached a tentative contract agreement with the union that represents the largest number of its employees. The deal announced with the Amalgamated Transit Union, which represents bus, light rail, and commuter rail operators, as well as mechanics, clerical, and maintenance workers. Details not released, so ATU can inform its members first. There is still a strike threat next week, since there is still no deal with the Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers and Trainmen. Traffic and AccuWeather next. 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
Now a commercial message. I'm Larry Wallace. Personal injury should equal personal attention.
That's what you get at Spector & Associates Serious Injury Law Firm. They understand accidents and represent people who have been seriously injured. Spector & Associates is based in New York and will help. Injured? Call them first. 800-318-8888. Spector & Associates has recovered hundreds of millions of dollars for their clients. Have you been involved in any kind of accident? Visit their website, crashinjury.com, or call 800-318-8888. The attorneys at Spector & Associates are fierce in getting you the money you deserve. Call them first, 800-318-8888. That's 800-318-8888. Or visit their website, crashinjury.com.
Spector and Associates, your serious injury lawyers. 800-318-8888.
Not sure about ranked choice voting? No problem. NYC Votes has you covered. With ranked choice voting, you can rank up to 5 candidates in order of preference instead of picking just one. The more candidates you rank, the more power your vote has. Here's how it works. If your top choice doesn't have enough support to win, your vote automatically moves to your next choice. This keeps going until a candidate gets more than 50% of the votes and wins. The next primary is June 24th, 2025, and early voting runs June 14th to June 22nd. Learn more at nycvotes.org. Paid for by NYC Votes.
Your roof is the biggest layer of protection your home offers. Protect your roof with GAF Timberline HDZ shingles from Riverhead Building Supply. Visit a store to explore colors, features, and warranty details, and learn about the technologies developed to help protect your roof from wind and blue-green algae staining. Timberline is North America's #1 selling shingle brand. Find the complete GAF roofing system at rdscorp.com.
Wednesday News Time 8:11, traffic and transit. Here's Kelly Dillon.
We've got a mess in Brooklyn tonight on the eastbound Belt Parkway into Cropsey Avenue. An accident here knocks out the 2 right lanes involving an overheight truck that hit the overpass. So traffic's at a complete standstill right back to the Verrazano and the westbound side. Also bumper to bumper with rubbernecking. Do skip this section of the belt. Now also in Brooklyn, we are slow on the BQE both ways heading into Atlantic Ave and Queens tonight. The Van Wyck Expressway also still busy both directions at Hillside Avenue. The northbound FDR Drive, minor delays heading into the RFK, although it's easing out nice and quiet on the West Side Highway. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Outbound George upper deck, about a 10-minute backup, although it's easing out nicely. The inbound at George, pretty quiet on both levels. Not bad at the Lincoln or Holland, and across the Brooklyn-bound Brooklyn Bridge, some lingering delays continue tonight. I'm Dylan. Our next report at 8:21. 1010 winds and 92.3 FM.
Now the AccuWeather 4-day forecast for meteorologist Brian Thompson.
There will be some clouds around as we head through tonight. Low temperature around 60 degrees. We'll start with a little bit of sunshine tomorrow, but it is going to be cloudy up throughout the day. And there will be an afternoon shower or thunderstorm around. Tomorrow's high up to about 75. And there will be more numerous showers tomorrow night, likely even evolving into a steadier rain overnight. Low tomorrow night around 55. And more rain at times on Friday. There could be some ponding on roads with some of the steadier rain. A much cooler day, a high only around 60, but it warms right back up over the weekend. The rain mostly gone, maybe a stray shower early Saturday, especially north and east of the city, but sunshine will return, highs 71, and highs in the 70s with sunshine for Mother's Day. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on New York's weather station, 1010 winds on 92.3 FM.
70 degrees and cloudy.
Hi, this is Stu Leonard. My apron is on. Guess what I'm grilling for Mother's Day? Surf and turf. We have 4-ounce lobster tails direct from our local fishermen in Maine, only $5.99 each. My personal favorite porterhouse steak, $14.99, direct from our cowboys in Kansas. And it's all tariff-free. 2 lobster tails, $5.99, porterhouse, $14.99. Add a little hot garlic butter, and my mom is happy.
The world is complex, but understanding it doesn't have to be. The Economist connects the dots across politics, business, science, and culture, keeping you informed and prepared for what's to come. When decisions in Beijing shift markets in New York, or a populist wave ripples to your doorstep, The Economist explains the what and the why so you're ready for tomorrow. A global team of reporters makes complicated issues clear so you can navigate with confidence. Make sense of the world around you with The Economist.
D'Agostino & Associates is a legacy firm that's there to help accident victims. I'm attorney Jenna D'Agostino, continuing the legacy my father, John D'Agostino, started 35 years ago when he built D'Agostino & Associates, the injury firm, one client at a time.
I grew up on these New York and New Jersey streets. They shaped me. I'm attorney John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates, the injury firm. I often tell the story of how my father lost his leg in a construction accident so people understand I've been there and I'll be there for you. Call my team first. 888-24-LAW-24. 888-24-LAW-24.
Continuing the legacy means working closely with my father and our team. When you're injured, we know a big decision has to be made. Call our team first.
D'Agostino & Associates, the injury firm. We have offices throughout New York and New Jersey. I've been there and I'll be there for you. Call my team first. 888-24-LAW-24. 888-24-LAW-24. D'Agostino, Law, Bite Back.
With the impact of President Trump's trade war mounting, China is taking steps to mitigate the impact ahead of negotiations.
President Trump says he won't reduce his 145% tariffs on Chinese goods in order to kickstart negotiations with China. ABC asking the president in the Oval Office.
Are you pulling back your tariffs in order to get China to the negotiating table?
No.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent will meet with his Chinese counterpart in Switzerland this weekend. China has said that bringing down the tariffs is a requirement for real negotiations on trade. Bessent said he thinks the talks this weekend will focus on de-escalation. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
The tariffs poised to stoke inflation and depress U.S. economic growth. Federal Reserve policymakers kept their benchmark lending rate unchanged at a meeting today.
Fed Chairman Jerome Powell says the interest rate will remain at 4.3%. Powell cited uncertainty created by President Trump's trade tariffs.
The tariff increases announced so far have been significantly larger than anticipated. All of these policies are still evolving, however, and their effects on the economy remain highly uncertain.
When asked if the president's push for lower interest rates made any difference,
Doesn't affect their job at all.
many economists say they still expect the Fed will reduce interest rates 2 or 3 times by the end of this year.
Correspondent Linda Kenyon. Stocks barely moved on the news. Details and Money Watch at 8:26. President Trump has switched his pick for Surgeon General.
The president says he has picked Dr. Casey Means to be his new nominee for Surgeon General. That comes a day before his previous nominee, Dr. Jeanette Neshawat, was scheduled to appear at a Senate hearing on her nomination for the Surgeon General role. Dr. Casey Means and her brother Callie Means were close allies to Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. during the campaign when Kennedy dropped out and endorsed then-candidate Trump.
Correspondent Alexander Tim. Dr. Neshawat was also targeted by Trump ally Laura Loomer, who called her a pro-COVID vaccine Nepo appointee in a post on X. Loomer was also instrumental in ousting several members of the president's National Security Council. Just a reminder, Mother's Day is Sunday, and if you're fortunate to still have your mom in your life, time's running out to pick up a card or a gift.
People seem to be taking it pretty easy this Mother's Day season. Or is it just the calm before the storm? Johnny says
Mother's Day for me is too much.
so he chooses to celebrate his mom.
Every day. I don't do the regular Mother's Day thing. I just do something for my mother all the time.
Here's how.
Take her out, surprise her, buying her things.
But some moms say the benefits of motherhood outweigh the material things.
The closeness, have somebody to talk to as a best friend. I am absolutely ecstatic for my grandmother and a great-grandmother. You feel confident? It's a blessing.
Amanda Alexander, 1010 Wins on 92 for FM, a Georgetown shopping center.
PGA is planning to give away free tickets to the Ryder Cup with Bethpage Black, a move they're calling the People's Perk. Pro golf events notoriously exclusive and expensive, but these tickets will be given away randomly to New York residents who are at Bethpage Black and several other public golf courses in the metro area. No notice will be given as to when and where specifically. Officially, the Ryder Cup begins September 28th. Westchester County Executive Ken Jenkins says Ride Playland will open Memorial Day weekend, but not all of the amusement park's rides will be operating. The beach and pool will be open along with food services, but many of the rides have yet to be inspected after the company that was supposed to winterize them didn't.
Everyone's hands are on deck to make sure things are going to open as quickly as we can. The Department of Labor is the one that certifies the rides to be open, and each one of those will be certified as required before any public use can happen. This is going to be the state's decision from the Department of Labor whether a ride opens or not.
Memorial Day weekend admission will be free since they don't know when rides will actually be open.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of
of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC part solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
From the hustle of Hunts Point to the pulse of Staten Island, we are New York's all-news station.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Mostly cloudy, 70 degrees at 8:20. Good evening, I'm Wayne Bajardi. Here's what's happening. Columbia University officials called the NYPD in to clear the main library of anti-Israel protesters who pushed past security. 9/11 survivor advocates say the damage is done as the Trump administration now attempts to rehire Doge-fired doctors who were instrumental in the health program. The FBI announces arrests of hundreds of people accused of targeting children online. A Memphis jury acquits 3 ex-police officers in the death of Tyree Nichols. And a federal judge halts a Trump administration move to deport people to Libya without due process. Sports, Knicks in Boston for Game 2. The Yankees host the Padres. Mets win in Arizona this afternoon. AccuWeather says could see a shower north and west of the city this evening. Otherwise, partly cloudy tonight, low 60 degrees. Winds News Time 8:21. Traffic and transit. Here's Kelly Dillon.
A huge mess on the eastbound Belt Parkway in Brooklyn approaching Cropsey Avenue. An overhyped truck hit the overpass and with all lanes currently subject to closure. Traffic at a complete standstill right back to the Verrazano, and the westbound side quickly backing up with rubbernecking. So do skip this section of the belt. Also busy in Brooklyn with QE stop and go both ways into Atlantic Ave. Slowdowns continue through Queens on the eastbound LIE into the Grand Central, then again through the Fairview. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big 3 through Nassau County. The LIE is quiet and no trouble of the northern or southern state highways. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Slight delays heading to the outbound door to the upper level. Just a 10-minute backup. It's easing out. Lower levels fine. Inbound, it remains quiet. Not bad at the Lincoln or Holland, and still stop-and-go traffic across the Brooklyn-bound Brooklyn Bridge. Inbound, it is quiet again. I'm Dillon. Our next report at 8:31. 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
Columbia University students studying for their finals in the main library interrupted this afternoon by anti-Israel protesters. The group, many covering their faces with keffiyeh scarves, like the one worn by former PLO leader Yasser Arafat, pushed past public safety officers at the entrance, hanging Palestinian flags and banners, chanting about globalizing the Intifada, as some vandalized the ornate reading room. This student describes the scene.
As someone whose finals were disrupted last year around this exact time, I think it's actually unfortunate and almost a disgrace to the university, to an elite institution, to not be able to get it under control after a year. Other universities have managed to, but apparently the student protesters and also the administration wasn't really doing that.
Protesters were told to show identification and leave the library. When they did not, they were held inside. Columbia's acting president Claire Shipman issued a statement saying many of the protesters refused to identify themselves and leave, adding they believe many are not affiliated with the university. So she requested the presence of the NYPD to secure the building and the safety of the Columbia community. She says 2 public safety officers sustained injuries during that crowd surge. The NYPD is now on the scene, and at least 60 arrests, perhaps more, have been made. Locking into 1010 Wins for updates on this situation. Governor Hochul among the Democrats called to testify by Republicans on the House Oversight Committee for a hearing on sanctuary policies. Hochul's office says the governor will be there and will reiterate that while New York will cooperate with federal immigration officials to deport violent criminals, she absolutely does not support cruel actions that tear families apart or rip children away from their parents. The Republicans also want to hear from Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and J.B. Pritzker of Illinois. Trump administration now in the process of rehiring several doctors and scientists in charge of the 9/11 health program who were cut by order of Elon Musk in his Doge effort. But advocates say the damage is done.
Among the rehirings is the doctor in charge of enrolling new people in the program. 9/11 health advocate John Fields still has questions.
Over 1,000 people last month couldn't enroll in the program,
which he says is still understaffed.
First they fired and then rehired, then they fired.
He says shame on the Trump administration.
This was reckless. It wasn't called for. It lacks humanity and lacks empathy. And these people truly unqualified to do their jobs in decent.
Fields' next big fight is getting the program extended, which he says was not included in Congress's continuing resolution late last year. Mac Rosenberg, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
The expected guilty plea from a former state trooper on Long Island accused of shooting himself in the leg and then blaming a criminal didn't happen, as expected today.
Wearing a green ribbon for Mental Health Awareness Month, former state trooper Thomas Masia put his head down when he found out he will not be able to plead guilty, as his attorney said he planned to do in court.
I mean, there's no surprise when you are charged with shooting yourself and reporting it as being shot by a perp. There's obviously something that's not right. He's getting treatment for it.
Attorney Jeffrey Lichtman says the 27-year-old told the judge he was not in good mental health to take the plea. The new court date is May 21st.
I'm hopeful that he will be able to take the guilty plea.
Under the plea deal, Masia will spend 6 months in jail. Sophia Hall, 1010 wins, a 92.3 FM on Long Island.
If Masia enters his plea, he'll spend 6 months in jail and be on the hook for $289,000 in restitution. Days into Harvey Weinstein's sexual assault trial in 2020, prosecutors privately spoke for the first time with a former model who alleged that he had forced himself on her. But that jury was never told about the claim. Prosecutors have said they're still investigating the allegation when Weinstein